Okay. Looks good. Yes. All of them work now. Okay, perfect.
Sick.
There we go. Just put it. Okay. So we're on. So just say a little something, whatever.
Can you hear me clear?
Yeah.
All right.
So just say.
Can you hear me? How's it
Oh,
coming
you
in?
are echoing a little bit actually. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
A little more.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're
Has it
echoing
echoing now?
actually. Can you? That's the thing with no headphones. It does that sometimes. Can you lower your volume a little bit? It's very working.
All right. It's lowered about halfway.
Let me see here.
All right. It's lowered about halfway.
Mm, let me see. I'm gonna lower too. Maybe that's better. No, no.
All right. How's it? Is it any better right now?
It's like a 20-second delay on Instagram.
All right. How's it? Is it any better right now?
Okay, now it's better. Yes, that sounds fine. Okay, everybody.
Okay.
If somebody thinks this sounds funny, please let me know. But it sounded like no echo to me now. So here we go. Here we go. Okay. So Facts with Maaxx, episode 19 today. Now I'm like knocking out lives like every day. I started every once a week. Now we're doing them. I'm just it's all the time. This has been like my dream to just sit here and talk. I just need to hire somebody to edit the, the live videos for me afterwards. Now somebody's interested, like to look through like 6 hours of video footage and find the good pieces. Please let me know. But today I have Casey with me here, and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself because I just got connected with you for like a week ago. I didn't even know who you were, and checked you out, and I was like, oh wow, he's on Alovea, and he's a veteran, and he has some pretty cool stories. So please tell everybody who you are.
All right. So my name is Casey West. I am a prior combat Marine, was a helicopter mechanic and a helicopter gunner. Did 2 deployments to Afghanistan, experienced a lot out there. After I got out of the Marine Corps, I was in the 1% Motorcycle Club world for a few years and then left that scene. Was getting really sick and ended up with terminal brain cancer. I got the diagnosis back in 2022, and they told me I had 3 months to live, and if I didn't do chemo and radiation, I had no chance of survival. Well, we're now over 3 years. I'm cancer free, no chemo, no radiation. I've had to pretty much become my own healer, my own doctor. Just dove into the research and in the process have gained a lot of experience and now share that with other people looking to do the same.
That's incredible. I only know very little of that, and now I'm even more interested. So when they told you you had cancer, were you anything about healing and natural health before that, or was that kind
So
of like
I
when you got into it?
Yeah, so I really didn't know much about healing. I had just really been sick for like 6 plus years. So like slowly changing my diet and
Uh-huh.
doing some things like organic food and things like that. But I wasn't doing detoxing yet. I didn't really know how to get healthy yet. So I was just hit with that terminal diagnosis. And then it was, I had to hit that learning curve pretty quickly.
So how long were you sick before you found out about the cancer? You said 6 years sick.
Yeah, so after like towards the end of my Marine Corps career, I
Mm-hmm.
was already getting pretty sick. 2015 was really sick in the hospital emergency room, and no one could tell me what was wrong with me. 2016, hallucinations, auditory, visual, vomiting. So I had a lot of brain inflammation, and pretty much had these symptoms for up until 2022, where the symptoms were excruciatingly painful, going blind,
Oh.
like full blown like confusion and my reality. I didn't really know like what was going on a daily basis. So it was not only the pain but the confusion of my reality, and that was a pretty tough life.
So how did this start? So I assume you didn't just wake up one day and all of this had happened. Like when did you kind of like figure out, oh, something is probably wrong with me?
Well, I was looking, I was looking for answers. There was years like 2019, I had an abdominal surgery. So I
Mm-hmm.
had multiple things that were wrong with me. Still repairing my body from the Marine Corps, shoulder surgery, abdominal surgery. I had a left testicle surgery, and then I went into, the end of 2021 with extreme like just pain, migraines, debilitating symptoms, and I refused to really go into the VA anymore because they had just been telling me it was all psychosomatic, that it was all in my head, no pun intended. And
Yeah.
eventually, like I had just given up on the system
Mm-hmm.
until the point where it was so bad that I probably had about a week left of life, is what the doctor, the surgeon said, because of the
Uh-huh.
inflammation was so bad. I was going blind all the time. Just
Like,
never slept, was
holy shit.
crying all day long every single day from the pain, and then yeah, had to go to the emergency room to find that out.
This is insane to me. So, okay. I mean, I kind of just want you to, yeah, just share. I mean, I want to get into, afterwards, kind of like where you think it came from, obviously. But so what did you do? So you decided not to do chemo. Like, what made you make that choice?
I guess I had no faith in the medical establishment already, like Western medicine, because they had been pumping me full of pills for, almost, probably like 8 years from the day I
Mm-hmm.
got out the Marine Corps. I was on all like antipsychotics because they were telling me I was schizophrenic. So like all this misdiagnosis. So I really didn't trust the medical system. And, I had already thought that it's possible I had cancer, but I didn't really like have the idea of like how serious it
Mm.
was.
Our
And I
intuitions
didn't
are always right. Huh?
yeah, and that was the issue, because I didn't trust the system. It took me so long to get in there, but chemo and radiation was never a thing for me because I
Mm-hmm.
knew how much damage I had already done to my body. I knew that it was filled with toxins. Part of what I did in the Marine Corps, I was exposed to a lot of toxic like uranium or fuel derivatives. I was inhaling the JP5, JP8, so I already knew that my cells couldn't handle any more destruction. So chemo
Mm-hmm.
would have killed me.
Mm-hmm.
Radiation would have killed me because I'd already been
Mm-hmm.
exposed to high levels of radiation from the radar systems on the helicopter. So there's no way I was about to go destroy my body and try to heal at the same time. Like it wouldn't have worked. It would have killed me. So
Yeah.
I already had that intuition, and it was
Mm-hmm.
a no-brainer. There was not a second in my mind that I was going to go down the standard of care route. So immediately like went into research, and that's when fasting was
Mm-hmm.
like really presented to me. So like water fasting for 3+ days, cleaning out all the bad cells, detoxing, so like infrared sauna and coffee enemas and
Mm-hmm.
these other things that I was using to help detox and like get my natural production of glutathione up, antioxidants and stuff like that in the body naturally without exogenous means. So I really focused on my body's innate ability to heal and repairing that ability through the treatments I was doing, whether it be like IV treatments,
Mm-hmm.
lymphatic stuff, so I can make sure that I'm getting the minerals everywhere in my body and not like
Mm-hmm.
clogged up because my lymphatics messed up. So it was a whole lot of things like anti-cancer foods, proper supplementation and stuff like that.
So, considering that you made this choice, I assume like, did you have the faith that, oh, I'm gonna be able to kick this, or did you think that maybe this is it?
So I knew pretty much like challenge accepted, right? It was as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I got the diagnosis, I knew from that minute that I got it that I was going to beat the diagnosis. After
Mm-hmm.
all the adversity in my life that I had,
I
they
mean,
told me three
that's
months,
healing
and
in itself. Step number
for
one is
sure,
healing.
yeah, the
To believe it.
the battle, the cancer battle is won in the mind first, right? So like the mental game has to be
Mm-hmm.
strong. So for me to go out there and know that I was going to beat this was step one. And
Mm-hmm.
then just like, the will to survive, the will to live, and like having so many near death experiences already in life. So 3 months was actually like a lifetime for me, where some people feel like that's not enough time for me. That was enough time to do the research and
Mm-hmm.
get on the path so I can start dialing it all in.
Hmm. So, where did you find your research? Like, how did you go about this?
PubMed. like
Mm-hmm.
PubMed articles. You go
Mm-hmm.
down like kind of like the rabbit hole of cancer research, and at first it's okay. We throw everything and the kitchen sink at it. You kind of start off like making some mistakes, like over supplementation. The body can only handle so much. If the
Mm-hmm.
cells are full of toxins, it can only absorb so many of these minerals. So detox
Mm-hmm.
is really like one of the first things that I needed to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was trial and error at first, kind of like figuring out where my footing was and like where to really start a solid foundation with my cancer treatment and healing. So detoxing was like the very first thing I started to focus on, so I could start
Mm-hmm.
to get the good stuff in my cells because they were all overloaded. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So how long would you say it took you to become cancer free?
Uh, let's see. So probably about 20 months. So
Mm-hmm.
it was, the first 18 months, I had the first craniotomy. The tumor was taken out in January
Mm-hmm.
2022. And
Mm-hmm.
then I made it 18 months until the next craniotomy, which is really good. They didn't even give me that long to survive in the first place. So
Yeah.
it took me about 20 months to really dial it in. And that
Mm-hmm.
was after that second surgery. But I had already entered into the space of like methylene blue,
Mm-hmm.
different IV treatments. Like I had these own protocols I started to write for myself with hyperbarics, methylene blue, red light,
Mm-hmm.
cold plunging, like
Mm-hmm.
hyperthermia. Like I went into a sweat lodge. And like, not to mention the plant medicine aspect to clear
Yeah.
the energetics of some of the traumas I've had. So it was like a multifaceted approach, but it took me about 20 months and then really dialing everything in to get to that cancer free point.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is like all these things that you're saying, I've never, I mean, I've dealt with my own stuff, but I've never had cancer and I never will. But all the things that you have said now, I've done it all. So all these things should be known to everybody, whether you're sick or not. You not necessarily have to do all the things all the time, but all of these things should be known to everybody, known that these should actually be somehow incorporated into our lifestyles to prevent to end up in that situation in the first place. So all you really did was just go back to what we're supposed to do anyway, you know? So it's
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
really, we're not looking for the cure. All we're trying to do is just live how we're supposed to live, and then our bodies take care of itself. So you said that you were a lot on like PubMed to read research and such. Back then, did you ever bump into Acemannan then?
No, so I think Acemannan popped up a few times, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it kept popping up. And then
Mm-hmm.
I had people reaching out to me to jump on it and like do more research into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things that I always kind of like brushed off to the side
Mm-hmm.
because I was so focused on these other healing modalities that it was not something I jumped into until like really the last 6 months. It started popping up in my field. Like
Mm-hmm.
intuitively, I knew, okay, like why does this keep showing up in my life? Why do these
Yeah.
people keep sending me the information on it? I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
links, the research, like everything just kept being sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Literally probably like 6, 7 months ago, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that there was something there. So, I can I just touch on that really quick?
Oh, yes, please. Because I was going to say, you
Yeah.
have 30 years of research, 700 peer studies, and a lot of them are on the PubMed websites. That's why I was pulling it out. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
Tell me.
so I dove into that stuff, and so like I recently, probably like 2 months, am now working with like Alovea, the Ace
Mm-hmm.
Mannin, so like the immune,
Yeah.
the limitless, and the balance. And
Mm-hmm.
what those have done for me, so now I've cut out all other supplements. And my blood work has shown like I've been doing better, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give this like its full potential so
Mm-hmm.
I can see exactly what these supplements are doing for me. So just like right off the bat, I've always battled a lot of oxidative stress because of uranium toxicity in my bones. So
Mm-hmm.
that's been kind of hard with inflammation. And then like just I needed a lot of healing. Like I've done a lot of damage to this body, as you know, like
Mm-hmm.
just the wear and tear on life, doing extreme
Mm-hmm.
sports or being a competitor. All these things, like
Mm-hmm.
it really takes its toll on the body. So getting on these supplements, like I've noticed now like extreme lack of pain and discomfort while I'm in the gym. I go to the gym every day. So
Mm-hmm.
strength is going up, which is very surprising. The strength is going through the roof. Even with my size not constantly increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you know what?
so let
Do you
me
know why your strength is increasing? Like, do you know the scientific part of why you're feeling that way?
No, I do not actually.
So Acemannan boosts your stem cells up to 400%. So, I mean, it's a lot of different things. It also reduces cellular inflammation. So, all the components, play a role together and your own balance, which regulates your hormones. But I would say because of all these extra stem cells, and I'm sure a lot of people on here have heard about stem cell injection, became super popular for a while. I was actually looking at it years back and I was like, oh my God, this is so much money. And I had a lot of friends too. And I was like, is it really worth it? Do I really need it? Then when I found this, I was like, I don't need to spend no fucking $20,000. I just get it right there.
Yeah. So I actually have done stem cells as well, like some
Mm-hmm.
adipose derived stem cells for
Mm-hmm.
the Muse cell factor, which are anti-cancer. But that's a $3,500 protocol for you getting under the chair for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
great protocol. But for those who aren't willing to spend or have the money, like I'm spending $250 a month on these supplements. You know what I mean? And the daily use of them after I increased my dosage, I doubled my
Mm-hmm.
dosage, doubled down on everything. Like you said, the strength going up in the gym, but it's really like the recovery, which is
Mm-hmm.
the best for me. Like it takes no time for me to recover. And no
No,
matter if I'm going in
isn't it incredible?
fasted or not, I just have energy.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to, after we talk here, we have, I don't know if you've seen them, but we have basically put together all the public research for everything. And I'm just going to show a few of the things. So, Acemannan in general. So, it acts like mother's breast milk in the body. Basically, it has every nutrient a human body needs to function, which is why it helps so much because people are almost like, this sounds too good to be true. Like, what kind of magical bullshit is this? I'm like, yeah, because when you really think about it, we're supposed to have mother's breast milk when we're babies. We don't need anything else. It's not like I mean, these days, don't get me wrong, some moms are not producing what they're supposed to, but technically, we're only supposed to have breast milk, nothing else. So why would you need anything else? So we have, and like you said, I will send this to you if you haven't seen it before, but in all of these we've just organized everything. Let's say you go in, you want to know what the Acemannan does for the brain and gut, for example. You go
Hmm.
here. Now I don't think I can open it from my computer. From my phone, I can. When you click on these links here, it takes you to the PubMed uh, studies. Everything is in there. 30 years of it. Like there's so much. And it just promotes, it boosts your stem cell production. It helps the body eliminate bad cells. So Acemannan in itself detoxes you on a daily basis. And when somebody starts it the first time, they might detox a bit more, obviously. I've been on it for a
Hmm.
year, so I don't just detox, because my body is clean. But if it ever needs it, it will do so. And so yeah, it helps your gut heal. It helps your immune system basically rebuild and optimize itself. Everything has to do with the immune system. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. If you have allergies or cancer or autoimmune, or just like I used to have really bad hair, it doesn't matter. It's all comes to somehow your immune system isn't what it's supposed to be. Because if it was, it would just deal with things. And we live in the world with the chemicals and the radiation and all the things. And I just got my testers, like I did a bunch of tests because I tested myself in January last year and I started the
Hmm.
product in February. So I'm going to do a live. I just get the result yesterday and I'm like over the fucking moon. So I had to make a post yesterday because I had, which here's the thing, we're not technically supposed to use medical terms. And you don't know, you're new, but now you know for future. The more times we do that, the more big ears and eyes the FDA gets, and they're like, "Did they say a medical term?" So I'm
Hmm.
gonna say I had itis, um, and now I have like none. I don't have it anymore, and I had it for 20 years. I had just discomfort in every joint in my body, like an old lady, and
Hmm.
I am just, I mean, I knew because I don't feel it anymore, but that test result was just confirmation that it is completely, not only is that condition gone, my inflammation is probably lower than any person, like any normal person. Which is insane. And I always had like, my testosterone was a little low. Not like I was having issues or anything, but I increased my total testosterone with 30%. and I more than 100% increased my free testosterone just thanks to balance. I
Let's
haven't
go.
done anything else. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to do the live. I'm just waiting for my holistic doctor friend to go through the test with me so I know, what everything is, because I don't know what everything on the test is. And then I'm going to
Yeah.
show them, show from a year ago and show now. And like, look, this, like, you don't believe me, you go check for yourself,
Yeah, it's super motivating, like hearing these stories and like watching these lives, and all these people are coming forward with like their what's healing in them with these
Mm-hmm.
products and supplements. So it's really cool to see. And just the short time, the 2 months that I've been using them, like just what I'm feeling and experiencing now is undeniable. So I look forward to see when I'm a year into this journey and I can redo my labs that I took 2 months ago, and then I'll be able to recheck because I've also been battling hormones and things like that from what I've gone
Mm-hmm.
through in my life, brain injuries and stuff, pituitary gland damage. So,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of a lot of that time in the military going through the toxic exposures really takes its toll on our guys that are over there, doing the work. So it's really cool. And I'd like to see how I respond to this so I can get more of our brothers and sisters in arms on this stuff to like heal when they're right out of service.
I think it's everything is just aligning, because I had a conversation with a friend about an hour ago. She has two sons and they're both active duty right now. And she said, oh my God, because she had a heart condition. People have probably seen her story. She had a heart condition, which is completely gone. And the doctors are like, but this isn't even possible, they said. She's like, Maaxx, it's not humanly possible. I'm like, no, I know. Like, I've seen a lot of things, trust me. And she told me, I really want my sons to use this. They're really gonna need it when they're in the military. And then she said to me, do you think this is this military approved? And I said, well, technically, I mean, we're not going against any rules. We have zero toxicity and zero side effects. So the only thing that we're d- going against is the fact that we're not allowed to use medical terms. Besides that, we're
Hmm.
not doing anything wrong in any shape or form. We're just not supposed to use the medical terms. Like, we're not supposed to heal, treat, or cure anything. That's all. But so I said, well, yeah, but then the question is this, because she said, oh, the military, they're so strict. Like, if somebody gets hurt, they're not supposed to use Advil or painkillers or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because it has side effects, right? We have zero side effects. So I would say, yeah, why wouldn't they want to use it? But then the question is, do they want people to be that well? Like, I don't know. I haven't been in the military, so I don't know where they stand, but I don't see how this couldn't get approved to be used like officially in the military. It would be incredible.
Yeah, so I think like just touching on military and time in service that I had, like the focus on keeping the guys and girls that are serving healthy
Mm-hmm.
is not like their main focus at all, right? Like they feed
Yeah.
you prison food, grade F for prison or military, you know what I mean? When you get the containers brought out, so there's no nutrients in those foods, but you're over there fighting a war, so
Yeah.
you're out there exposed to all these toxins, you're exposed, your body is getting beat down, and there's no supplementation, there's no magnesium, there's none of
Yeah.
this stuff, right? They're not teaching you how to take care of yourself while you're in service. And you would think that they would want that. They're war fighters. You would think that they'd want them as healthy as possible, recovering as much as
Yeah.
possible so they can continue to stay
Yeah.
on
They would
mission.
last longer, which is
So
think
this is
is
the thing. They will push Motrin, right? They'll tell you, hey, here's ibuprofen, which we know destroys the gut,
wait.
right? Ibuprofen
She
is,
said her sons are not allowed to use ibuprofen or Advil or anything. She said they're not allowed to,
yeah.
to take that. I don't know what part they're
So
though.
whatever branch that they're in, like I can't speak for every branch, but I know as a
Mm-hmm.
Marine, and I can generally
Mm-hmm.
say probably most branches, like this is the saying: two Motrin, two ibuprofen, and a canteen of water. So the only thing that they'll give you is ibuprofen, and that's like day one. So they will give you these things. When I was deployed in Afghanistan, where other units deployed out there, they will give you
Yeah.
Adderall, they will give you
Oh.
Ambien for sleep.
Yeah.
So they will
You
put
need an
you on
emergency
stuff,
guy.
like whatever
You need
whatever they've
an
experienced
emergency
might
guy
be
to
different.
see. Mm-hmm. Maybe you two, you and her can maybe can put your heads together and figure out how we can get this in there, because, and again, like, I know of all the things I speak of here, like I've spoken a bunch about election and politics and shit. I don't believe in none of this shit. I believe that anyone in big power in the world is not a good person. But I also want to say I truly hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that Trump and RFK does all the things they say they're going to do, because if they do what they say they're going to do, we're going to be able to do all these things. So I really hope they do. Please prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's
you know?
it's interesting to see like RFK, because there's so much contradictory information out there. Like you can
Yeah.
see Trump and RFK, everyone's like behind them and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But then you go and there's proof of them doing the exact opposite of what they're saying, the things that
Yeah.
they're supporting behind the
Yep.
scenes, the people they're paying homage to behind the scenes. So like it's all
Mhm.
questionable. I'm the same way with you, like two wings of the same bird. Politics, I
Yeah.
don't believe anyone in politics is good on that scale. Everyone's compromised.
Yeah.
They have another agenda, and it's
Mhm.
easy to fool the masses if the masses
Yeah.
don't do their own research. So,
Mhm.
when it comes to healing, RFK is saying a lot of cool things. So, my prayer is that there's good and bad in everybody, and that the
Yeah.
good will prevail for our
Mhm.
people. You know.
I actually want to show. So I have a guest that I've had on my live twice. So he used to be. He was. I think he was born into a vampire cult, left,
Hmm.
became a politician, and I've done lives with him twice. So if somebody's interested, we have Facts with Max episode 8, Inside the Dark World of Politics. So this is just he also was in the vampire cult. We have the vampire live too, which is episode 5, and he has proof for all of these things. And I mean, if somebody's interested in actually, so he's in the Netherlands, so he's not in this country, so I know, of course, maybe it's a little different, but again, he's a great guy. Have him back on Tuesday again to talk about transhumanism, and this man is my most watched live ever, because he will prepare for a week with videos, photos, documents, books. Like, there is no question about what he's saying. Like, no matter what you think, you can't deny the things he's showing. So if
The
somebody's curious
facts.
to dig into the politics stuff, please go watch that. And the same, read the book Illuminatus Trilogy from 1975. If it's audiobook or paper book, whatever, if anyone goes and read this book and then explain to me why in 1975 they basically knew everything that we're doing right now, COVID and Trump and
Hmm.
everything is in the book. Just go read it and then we can have a conversation, And then you say that you don't also doubt them. Like, there's just too much information out there that just proves the opposite.
Yeah, the truth is hidden in plain sight. It's really not that hard to
Yeah.
find the answers and it's undeniable facts here. So you
Mhm.
got to think like if everyone is saying that they're for the healing and all these things, and we're going to need to see some extreme changes within the
Yeah.
military when you get out of the
Mhm.
military, like you should be doing testing for the toxins
Mhm.
that you've been exposed to. They should be teaching you how to detox
Yeah.
as you get out. They should be like informing you that hey, this is the job you're doing, this is what you're going to be exposed to, and once you get
Mhm.
out this is how you heal. But they don't do that, and there's a reason why they don't do that. Like as a Marine, when I was out there overseas in Afghanistan, I was doing drug interdiction. So like they tell you it's about the war on terror, then you go out to Afghanistan and now you're protecting poppy fields, foreign interests for pharmaceutical companies. So like why are we going to war over poppy fields? Like drug interdiction was my mission, my second deployment. So the
Mhm.
question is like why are we here? And you start to put the pieces together. Me flying around as a helicopter gunner, my second deployment, I got to see like the entire area of operations. So you're training the Afghan DEA teams with the US DEA teams, and like why are we doing all that? Like that doesn't make sense why we're trying to control the drug game in Afghanistan if we're here on the war on terror. So people need to open their eyes a little bit. Like pharmaceutical interest in Vietnam was the same way, right? Like opium, heroin, like all these pharmaceuticals that rely on opioids, these types of things, like the cheapest, best places to get them were Vietnam and
Mhm.
Afghanistan. So there's a lot of like eye opening that I experienced when I was out there. So like when you're going to fight a war for something that you thought you were going over there for, it's kind of a rude
Mhm.
awakening when you realize what you're actually there for.
I was just gonna say, so when you joined the Marine, like, were you aware of any of this stuff, or did you kind of just like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this honorable job, and you had this great idea, and then you came there and it's like, oh wait, this wasn't really what I thought.
Yeah, we were brainwashed, right? Like you go to
Mm-hmm.
boot camp and it's psychological brainwash. Like they're bringing
Mm-hmm.
you through their system and they bring in people from all over the world, all over the country, and they get you all in the same room and they teach you and train you the same way, and now you move as one unit it's mind control, it's psychological control.
Mm,
So you're getting excited about going and killing another human being. You're getting trained to be excited about taking the life of another human being, but the way they train you is like this is just an object. There's no soul in this thing. They're the enemy. Like, and they push this over and over again and repeat this rhetoric. That's your enemy, but like they're just another human being, just like
yeah.
you and me on here. There's the only difference in skin color. They're dirt farmers for one. Like, why did we spend 20 years in Afghanistan fighting dirt farmers when we have the most advanced military in the world? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these things didn't make sense, but they have to convince you uh, of a certain way of performing overseas, ideals, these types of things, so you can go and do that. But once you get out there and you're
Mm-hmm.
actually like in combat and you're starting to see what's happening, like it's brutal. It's like there's just other humans and there's a brutality to it. And it's kind of sad, honestly, that people can be convinced over a flag, a border, or skin color to go fight these other people because of a difference that was manufactured by the government in the first place.
Yeah. So, how did you think? So, when you were in training and everything, do you feel like you were brainwashed for a little? And like, how did you think that? Wait a second, like this isn't right, or like, how do you have any any stories about this? Like, how what made you
Yeah,
think this? And do you think other people think that too, or they just like, oh, this is great?
I think there comes a point where you start to think freely, where you start to question. Like, I question orders. Like, when
Mm-hmm.
I would be given an order, I didn't just accept that order and go move on it. I thought
Mm-hmm.
about it. I broke it down in my head, like we are doing mission
Mm-hmm.
planning or like an order out in the field, or like you're doing a high value target. And like there were things that most people probably just execute the order without any thought. But there's free thinkers in the military, and you start to pick up on it. Like, I was flying all around Afghanistan. I didn't actually like start thinking differently until my second deployment,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't seeing it. Like, my first deployment, I was full mechanic. My second deployment, I was full, I did mechanic work, but I was flying everywhere. So after I got to see the way of life of these people, after I
Mm-hmm.
got to see like the human nature of everybody that I was supposed to be at war with, and you
Mm-hmm.
start to think about, well, man, if someone was in my backyard telling me how to live my life, I don't think I would like that either. And especially if they had
Yeah.
guns and trying to force this way of life on people that have been living this way for thousands of years. Like, so you start to question everything. And I think, free thinkers in the military start to question it. And then when they get out, they realize just like what they were up to. You start to put the pieces together because they compartmentalize everything. Like, they separate
Mm-hmm.
everything so people aren't getting the whole picture. But once you start to talk to other people, you
Mm-hmm.
start to realize really quickly. But sometimes that isn't until years after you get out the military. For me, it was my second deployment. I realized quickly, like, this is bullshit. This isn't what they tell us it is. We're
Mm-hmm.
here just protecting foreign interests in the poppy fields, and then people are getting killed for that. So it was a hard pill to swallow, but it became, okay. I'm just gonna get me and my guys home with the least amount of damage possible, and I'm never fucking doing this again.
Yeah. So would you say that they kind of send you out with telling you to like take down innocent people and trying to make you think it's the right thing to do?
Well,
Because
I don't
I
think
think
like.
I haven't been in the military. That was my dream. I'm Swedish. I joined, they want women to join the military, right? So I did this like thing for women where they kind of like recruit you, and I was so excited, but I had a hearing problem when I was young, so I couldn't pass. They were like, yeah, you can do this and this and this, like fucking work in the kitchen. I was like, no, I want to be out in the field. So I couldn't do it. um which now, I mean, thinking about it, I'm glad I didn't. But like, I, in my mind, as a person that hasn't been there, to me, I'm thinking like, okay, if I join the military, I'm gonna do good and I'm gonna take down bad people, right? That's kind of like how I would see
Mhm.
it. I'm sure a lot of people see it like that.
Yeah, so that's a natural, like the way you would see things naturally after the
Mm-hmm.
training and after the propaganda, the programming, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
9/11 happened. I was in 5th grade. So like these events were happening. There was programming beforehand. They put these movies out, the propaganda for war to get these young dudes that want to be
Mm-hmm.
patriotic and go fight. So for me, what my job was, I wasn't an attack role. So like it's different for the ground guys and it's different for me, so I can't speak for those guys, but I can guarantee you, like, there is more of like this, that's your enemy. You need to take them out. And when you're in the fight and people are shooting at you, like you're really just trying to save your life. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary war going on, and people are just dying, and they don't have a choice. It's like it's either me or you at that point. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? But if you're actually thinking about it in the second that it's happening, like it's a difficult situation because if you're apprehensive, that means you could get killed or you can get your homies killed. So you have to do what you have to do, and there's no real way around it, unless you're down to like you know risk other
Yeah.
people's lives for your decision.
I actually have a friend of mine. I don't know where he is right now, this moment, but we talk regularly. And
Hmm.
I know he was I think he was in Ukraine last we spoke. And he's just sending me a message. He's like, I literally just lost half my men, literally just now, today. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like, it's so crazy. Like, you just hear in the voice. And me and Joe will listen to it. And he was like, there's a lot of energy in that message. It's crazy. Like, I can't even. And I've always thought in my mind that I was meant to do that kind of stuff. But then, like, really
Hmm.
thinking about it, because I had that moment of realization when I found my purpose in life, which is when I saw Joel on Alex Jones, and he says, I want to eradicate childhood malnutrition. And it was just like, I said, every time I tell this story, I have goosebumps. I sat at home and I just like knew that that was my purpose in life, because my thought for like 2 years prior was, am I supposed to work in child trafficking missions? Somehow I had this thought that maybe that's what I'm supposed to do, but I was always like, am I supposed to, even though the people deserve it, am I really supposed to do harm? I think I'm supposed to spread love.
Yeah.
And then and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to. Even though in a way, I kind of still want to do that, but I was like, the moment you go out there and like knowing what I know and being spiritual in the way I know, I don't necessarily believe, there's demonic things. People might have demons rather than the actual
Hmm.
person in front of me might not be a bad person. You don't know, like you're saying, you go into the military, you get brainwashed basically.
Hmm.
And maybe some of them are a little more clever like you and just like, wait a second, and just think about it. But a lot of people probably don't, and they just kind of go with it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bad dudes out there. Like when you're dealing with people who are hurting children, like the
Mm-hmm.
Afghan culture, like it's not uncommon for a lot of this like hurting children out there. So like it's easy to hate people. It's easy to like, okay, this dude's hurting these kids, so like we'll take him out. So there's a lot of bad dudes, and I'm a firm believer in like, you need to get rid of these bad dudes to help save kids or to help save other lives. So like
Mm-hmm.
there is a legitimate reason to be taking lives in certain situations, but I think overall like the reason why we were there it wasn't what they told us. And then think about like you send kids to war and think about car insurance. At
Mm-hmm.
25 years of age, you are now able to think and make rational decisions according to like, psychology or whatever. So that's based on your car insurance and it goes down to 25. So you have
Mm-hmm.
18-year-old kids, 19 where they're going to war, and you expect them to be able to make rational decisions. And a lot of these kids are not making these rational decisions. And then the decisions that they make, the orders that they're given, and the way they follow those orders out could be detrimental to their mental health, moral injuries, right? Like things that they go on and into the future and deal with because of that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people these days, considering how the world was, I mean, people are in their 30s and 40s and can't fucking think straight. So,
Yeah, but it's not just like the mental health stuff like from going to the military and like that stuff like as we're talking about like the health journey,
mm-hmm.
these we're getting so sick because we're exposed to so much stuff out there, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're seeing now is like a rise of cancers and ex-military guys. Like ex-military dudes like they're dying left and right from these crazy cancers because no one's teaching them how to detox their bodies. No one's
Yeah.
teaching them like what health is when they get out. They give you 3 half days of steps and taps, and they're like, hey guys, this is how you'd be a civilian. You just got back from war. Here's about 18 hours worth of training, a job fair, and then there you go, now you're a civilian. But there's no like, hey, here's how you get on a clean diet, here's how you detox your body, here's how you rebuild your body, and oh, here we're going to take care of you while you do it. And that's like the biggest issue, like me speaking personally from my terminal cancer journey, and it's service connected. It's 100% service connected to what I did in the military. Uranium exposures that were destroying my body, the radiation from my job, the
Mm.
inhaling JP5, JP8, the hydraulic fluids, the oils. Always been exposed to this stuff. So like doing this work in the military, we really want to see, the veterans being taken care of, and that's just not happening across the board. So it takes us to go
Yeah.
out of pocket to find the help we need. You got to do your own research, and a lot of these guys, like, you take them out of their homes at 18 years old, and
Mm.
then they get out of the military
Yeah.
22, 24 years old, and they don't have an idea how to really take care of themselves yet, because they've always been
Yeah.
provided for, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
military barracks, housing, feed, like food's already there.
Mm-hmm.
So now they get kicked out on their own, and they're just like kind of big kids trying to figure out, we've been to war, but we don't know how to take care of ourselves. So that's another like huge issue that you see with the guys getting out.
Yeah. So when you join the military, do they kind of like tell you that, there's a chance that you might experience some health issues here after this? Like, do they say that somehow?
No, they don't say any of that stuff. They have like, you know
I
they
would
want to
assume
tell you, hey,
you have
use.
to sign something, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're government property at that point. So like you
Yeah.
get injected with experimental vaccines, experimental drugs while you're in the Marine Corps. Like when I was in,
Like an
experimental things,
farm,
they were
just what it is.
like anthrax vaccines. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were giving you anthrax vaccines, 7 series of anthrax vaccines, and like what they were for, I don't
Wait, I didn't
actually really
know.
know what
Are
was
you
in them. I don't actually
obligated?
really know, but I know people were getting sick from them.
Are you obligated to get these vaccines, or is that a choice?
So you're pretty much forced to take them unless you have religious
Okay,
exemption,
this
and
is
even then they'll still kind of push it on you.
because so I don't know if you know, but we have a woman that is a part of Alovea. Her name is Dr. Shannon Kroner. She is a vaccine shed doctor, researcher, and
Hmm.
has done this for probably 20 years. So even before COVID happened, she was studying vaccine shedding. Basically, she studies the effects that it has on people. Like, let's say I hang out with you and you're vaccinated and I'm not even vaccinated. She studies what it does to you to be around vaccinated people, which is absolutely horrendous what it does. I mean, if it does that much harm to a person that didn't even take it, only like think what it does to the person that did. So I mean, it's crazy, and
Yeah.
I've been talking about this a lot because everyone is all about the COVID vaccine. I was like, but you guys don't understand that the COVID vaccine, that fuck that. All the other vaccines before that, that's what been causing diseases for decades. Like, it wasn't the COVID vaccine that started doing this shit. And COVID vaccine is its own thing. Like, that is its own category. All the other vaccines are shit. Like, I never, obviously, I'm born in Sweden. I had like one vaccine when I was a kid because this is so long ago. Like, back then, yeah, they gave us one handwritten note where it says it's a girl, and then it said like the one vaccine I had gotten. Like, I'm old enough for it to be that way. Came over to the United States, gonna get my green card, and they're like, "We need your birth certificate." I'm like, "No, we don't have that in Sweden." And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "No, we don't have birth certificates." And then I like
Yeah.
show this little note, and they like, "What is this?" I was like, "That's my paper that I was born." And they're like, "But you need to have this vaccine to get a green card." And I'm like, "Yeah, I have that." And whatever, I can't remember what it is. And they're like, "We don't understand this note. You're gonna have to take it again." Oh my god, I was so mad. So they gave me that one thing. That those are the only. So I've been getting one vaccine my entire life, but they gave me the same fucking shit twice, and I was so angry. But I mean, knowing living the way I do, I'm pretty sure I've detoxed all of that crap out. This is like 12 years ago or something. No, even longer probably. So I'm sure that's gone.
Yeah.
But again, like, any vaccine causes harm and disease and illness, and I just want people to understand this. There's no vaccine. There's a doctor that went out and did an entire thing proving that no vaccine that ever existed was ever needed. And then people come, yeah, but polio and this and that. I was like, now you're just talking out of your asshole. Have you actually done your research on this? Or are you just saying this because you were taught that? Go back, do your research. When you go down the entire holistic rabbit hole, you're probably going to agree.
Yeah, there's so much research out there why polio came about. You do research in
Yeah.
DDT and all these other things, and like these manufactured sicknesses, and they blame it on something
Mm-hmm.
else. And you know the Hegelian dialectic, where they create the problem with the solution already in hand, and so
Yeah.
we get tricked into these things
Mm-hmm.
constantly. And we talk about like vaccines and the vaccine schedules nowadays. Like, let's just look. So my ex-wife's Australian. She came into this country, and like I have my own church, I have my own faith-based organization. So we went and we battled immigration on this. They were trying to force her to have all these vaccines, COVID vaccines and all these other vaccines
Oh,
that she
this is
didn't need.
mm-hmm.
And we fought it, and we got
Mm-hmm.
approved for the religious exemption, but it was four
Oh, you
thousand
did?
dollars
Yeah.
you
My
know
my
for the
one of my
exemption.
best friends pregnant with an American. They were about to deport her with the baby in the belly because they rejected their religious exempt, but then down the line she made it. But like all of us were fucking ready to like go to Mexico and like smuggle her in. Like
Yeah, well,
crazy.
it's that serious. They're so serious about getting people on these schedules. But let's talk about the kids, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know we're kind of like going into this vaccine thing a little bit, but like with kids, the vaccine schedules that they're on, like 100 vaccines by like I don't know, 5 years old or
Yeah.
something
Oh,
crazy. Like
the
when
how
I
old
was a
now?
kid,
God damn. Yeah,
it wasn't many when I was a kid. You know, I got a lot in the military, but you speak about these illnesses that you see popping up from the
mm-hmm.
military guys a lot, and like I think a lot of that has to do with these questionable vaccines. They try to
Mm-hmm.
force you into these things, and now these kids are growing up and they've been injected with all this stuff. If you think
Mm-hmm.
about, if they're trying to elicit an immune response, there's
Mm-hmm.
things in nature that can do the same thing, like
Yeah.
mistletoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
it's like
don't need to
like
go in and do all
yeah.
this toxic stuff.
Mm-hmm. There's something for everything. And also, so I can't remember when this was. I did a live with this guy. God, what's now I forgot his name. The Pfizer whistleblower kid, like this young guy that worked for Pfizer, and then he worked undercover and basically did a whole documentary recording undercover, and then he worked for James O'Keefe undercover. He has like so
Hmm.
much freaking footage about all this stuff. But I asked him, I said, why did you start working for Pfizer in the first place? And he said, I was born with a disease. And I was like, okay, makes sense. He was like, I wanted to cure my disease. I was like, okay, I'm sure a lot of people actually do that. They want to cure their own
Hmm.
disease, right? So then I asked him, okay, so this, and I can't remember the name of the condition he has. There's you get seizures and stuff. So I said, because he studied this kind of stuff, obviously he knows a lot. So I said, what is causing your condition? Like, why do people get it in the first place? Okay, he explained some science behind it. And then I said, so when was the first time ever this disease was discovered? Okay, it was discovered in the year blah blah blah. What happened that year? They released 5 vaccines. So like when you do research, if anybody's interested, I'm not saying that this goes for every condition that exists, but pick a disease and go down the rabbit hole, and I bet you're gonna find out that the year the disease first was discovered, they released some bullshit and put into people. I bet
Yeah.
a lot of things connect like that.
You're seeing a whole lot more like, my daughter hasn't had any vaccines, right? She
Yeah.
doesn't really get
Mhm.
sick, and when she gets sick, it just helps her build up her immune system even stronger. Like,
Give her Acemannan.
well, yeah, so that's another thing, right? That we can add to the tools of
Mhm.
healing and rebuilding the body if you get sick or
Yeah.
something. But like the difference you see, my twin brother has 3 kids. They're all on the
Mhm.
vaccine schedule, and my daughter has no vaccines. And there is a huge difference in
Mhm.
like development, like all these types of things that happen. So like we're just witnessing it real time. And like everything, 50 years from now, they'll come back and they'll admit that they've done all this wrong,
Yeah.
when a lot of people aren't here anymore, but that's just part of the game. So,
Mhm.
really like figuring out how to heal from these things, like getting on board with the detox is really important. And
Yeah.
like with the work that I do now is just trying to help people embody their own inner healer, sharing
Mhm.
my journey, sharing like what I've used to heal, what I've used to detox, and like rebuild the cells. So like that's the exciting part about using the Ace Man and now, and
Mhm.
knowing like just seeing these really big improvements in such a short period of time, which I've already done a lot of healing, so it's
Mhm.
probably going to take less time to see some more of these benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But like just knowing like, hey, I didn't even know you can get kids on this stuff, right? Like it's
Yeah.
safe,
Well, we
all this
donate.
stuff that you just don't think about.
I'm sure you know that we donate it. So when you buy a product, we donate the same amount to orphanages. We have 90 different countries right now. The goal is to eradicate childhood malnutrition from the planet by the end of this
Hmm.
year. Me and Joel have decided. So if we get 3 million people on the product to take 2 servings a day, we will help save every child, which is 7 million children. Is it 7 million children a year that die of malnutrition? If we have 3 million people on the product, these 7 million children don't need to die anymore. Then obviously there's more kids than that. Like that's our first stepping stone, right? After that, we're just going to go further and further. We're going to save them all. But we donate the exact same thing to these children. Acemannan contains mannose, which is in mother's breast milk. You can give this
Hmm.
to a newborn baby. You might not give them a full serving because they're
Hmm.
tiny. They're not going to need, but the body takes up 98% of acemannan, which is insane. If you know anything about vitamins and supplements, the body takes
Yeah.
up what, 30% tops? 98%. So the acemannan first goes to your gut. It will do whatever it needs to do in the gut, which is why people usually experience nice stomach stuff first. But
Hmm.
if your gut got enough and it's like I don't need anymore, it will put it somewhere else. So you can't really overdose it. I always carry extra. So like if something ever happens, I train MMA, so sometimes I hurt myself a little. And I torn my hip a couple of weeks ago. And we have like a whole doctor office thing in the gym here, right? So I go to this dude, chiropractor dude, and I said, like, I can't even walk. Like, and I can take pain. I'm almost crying. Of, I'm like, what's going on? I can't do anything. People have to carry me. And even when they do that, I just hurt so bad. I go in and he's looking, he's like, you have a tear in your hip. And I was like, what? What did I do? That's crazy. So obviously he's working a little bit on me. I go back. I take 10 Acemannan, and I we say the molecule names and not the products names just to be safe. I took 10 Acemannan and 6 Betalains. 2 days in a row. Third day back to training. That's when you do that. And I actually wanted to play because I have a friend that gave it to her little baby. She's 9 months old. So I'm
Hmm.
gonna play the video of that. You can show people what it does for babies.
Sage. I was nervous because all the
With
with Sage. I was nervous because all the stories that you hear, like, this is a really bad disease for children to get. Sometimes it could be deathly. I mixed a little bit of the Limitless pill with coconut oil. I would put it in her diaper before bedtime, and I would put the rest of the Limitless in her baba. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. By the time I got to the doctor on Wednesday, I was like, hey, what does this look like? Oh, this is the end of hand, foot, mouth. This must have got really bad. When did this start? I said, oh, it just started a couple days ago. She goes, what do you mean? The gym actually said, if you can still see the red bump, then we're not going to allow her to come in. So I immediately went home. I put the Immune and the Limitless in her baba. The very next day, you couldn't see anything on her skin. I said, can we come to kids care now? And he said, yeah. It was a total of 4 days. None of the little spots that she had actually broke open. And my sister's kids, they all were sick with upper respiratory infections. She spent the night over there, and I picked her up the next day. We did an Immune before I dropped her off, and then we did an Immune in her baba the next day. She did not get sick, but they all like went to the doctor, got diagnosed, were all on antibiotics and all these other kind of pills. And Sage didn't even get like a runny nose. When I tell people that, they are like dumbfounded. Like, what are you doing? If I listen to these doctors and I give her all these antibiotics, then I'm going to need to give her another pill if she does get a yeast infection. Why not get to the root of it? She was maybe 9 months.
Acemannan is nature's breast milk. It contains mannose, which you as a mom have in your breast milk. Giving your baby Acemannan is perfectly fine.
The hand, foot, mouth with Sage. I was
that was it. Yeah. So anybody listening, you have kids, absolutely. We even have something called Kids Focus. So we have a focus drink that turns on and activates the brain. And it actually I have a lady on my live next week. She's a neurophysiologist. She's done brain scans of people with ADHD and without, and it activates the brain the same in both. So we have a oh, there you go. So we have a kids focus, which basically the only difference between that's what I'm drinking here. It's focus. It has choline in it, which is actually used to reverse Alzheimer's, for example, and it also has Acemannan. So the adult one has green tea in it, and the kids one doesn't have the green tea. But I have another friend. He gave it to his son, which is 9 years old, And
Hmm.
within, I think, a month, he didn't have celiac disease anymore.
Yeah, it's
And
really
he
cool to
also took
see.
the focus. That was it.
Yeah, there's so many things out there that the hand, foot, and mouth disease, like we're talking about, some of these new things that have come up, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm kind of like really blown away to see like how fast that young one could heal, because that's some pretty bad stuff that kids have to deal with. So like,
Yeah.
um, it's intriguing to see. Like, I want to go do some deeper research.
Mm-hmm.
But Max, my phone is giving me alarm. I've got some things I got to go
Oh,
take
yeah,
care of before I hit the
absolutely.
rack tonight.
Was awesome. And we're going to do another one where we dig deeper into some military stuff. So thank you so much. And I will see you again. And I'm also going to show people where to find you. Hold on.
Hmm.
Here we go. Somebody want to check him out. We have Transmute. That's Energy. There he is. You can go. I haven't checked out all of your stuff, but you're talking about cancer and all this stuff. So, guys, go check him out. And I will see you soon again.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch up soon. Thank you, Max.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Let's see here. I'm going to stay on for a little bit. Wait, how do I? Oh, there we go. Okay, so, uh, man, is it coming back? You want to come back again? Hold on. Okay. Oh, wait. What's going on? I'm so confused. It's like ringing here. Okay, whatever. Um, okay, guys, I am just gonna check real quick. I might do a little Valentine's talk. I'm just gonna check if maybe Mr. Joel is available. And if not, we might do it tomorrow. So I'm gonna play a little video for you guys that I think is incredible. My favorite video so far. Hold on here. Like this is kind of just like, it's a little funny in a way, but I'm gonna talk more about what this means. But let's play it. Where's the video? Here.
All he's got boners all the time and he won't leave me alone. She called me up and she's about 82 years old. And her husband, Roger, is like 5 years older. Roger can't take Alovea anymore. And I said, "Oh, why is that?" And she goes, "This swear to God, this comes out of her 83-year-old mouth. All he's got boners all the time and he won't leave me alone. So I'm taking him off of it."
Oh,
I
hilarious.
about drove off the freeway when she said that. And I got another
Oh,
buddy of mine,
be the best story.
Mike Olson. He was having performance issues, and we got him on the dioxygen, and now he's got 2 kids. And
Yeah.
so when you get to help people do those kinds of things, I get a lot of joy out of that.
Okay, this is by far my favorite freaking video I have done to date. Like, how cute is that? So I'm gonna explain what that's about. So, you guys know we do the food technology, right? Our two main molecules that we typically talk about. We have a lot of products. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of lifestyle products, but the medical grade molecules is a Acemannan product called Immune, and then we have a Betalain product called Limitless. These are the two we typically talk about. If somebody gets started the first time, I always suggest use these two first, just so you understand, what it is, what it can do for you. So a lot of people, they come here and they're like, "Oh, Max, I have these bad allergies, or I have asthma, or my hair is super shitty, or I have a horrible stomach, or I have autoimmune diseases." The list goes on, or I have cancer, or blah 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 blah, all the things, right? And then a lot of times people get started, and then a few people have like hit me up down the line, and they're like, "Max, like one conversation was like this. Yeah, my asthma is gone now. But I noticed something." And he's like, "Maybe you've heard this from other people too, but like, it's like it's kind of just, down there. It's just like different." And I was like, yeah. What do you mean? He's like, well, yeah, it's just a lot harder. And I was like, yeah, you're welcome. Because why is this? So in our bodies, we have inflammation, right? Some people might actually have sexual dysfunction situations, but now I'm just talking about most average people that maybe it's working okay, whatever. We all have inflammation in the body. We all have toxins and bad cells and all this shit. Imagine when you take away all this toxins and bad cells out of the body, and then your body takes away the inflammation. So now everything is just working, your blood circulation is working really well. That's typically the problem here. The blood circulation isn't working as it should. So when it does, the blood circulation works really well down there too. So you're welcome. So yeah, it kind of helps a lot of things. And it doesn't even matter what age you are. Look at that story. So she's 82 and he's I don't know, 85 some. No, he's 5 years older than her. It must be 87. So 87 years old. And everything is like kind of working. So I actually met a lady today and she was like, yeah, I don't know, I'm really old. I'm 80. I'm like, it's never too late. Like, let's go. Let's freaking go. Why not? So just to make it a little easier for you guys, I'm actually able to make my own bundles now. So I did this. If you will go to my link tree, the link tree /Noblo Club, and scroll down, I made the intimacy bundle just to kind of make it a little more simple. You can click on it and okay, that's Joe. And these are the two products we're talking about as far as the intimacy stuff. So the Limitless reduces cellular inflammation and balance regulate your hormones. So yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I think he's busy, but I'm gonna see. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. My phone is blowing up every hour of the day. Well, that was it. I have a bunch of other texts. So yeah, I highly suggest all of you guys to give it a shot. It's really freaking good. And again, I really do think that Limitless and Immune is the magical duo, but I think a lot of people have issues with their hormones. And I got my blood work back the other day, and maybe you guys have seen this one already, but I had this itis bullshit for like 20 years. And check this out. No, not that one. This one. Guys, I just got my blood panel back. I did a very extensive panel, and I'm actually going to do a live about it. But I just wanted to show this right now because this is the level of inflammation in my body, and I'm like, it's like almost nothing. So I've been on the food technology for about a year. I take the Betalains technology specifically for cellular inflammation. And listen to this, guys. I had joint itis stuff for about 20 years. Like, look at this. There's like nothing. Okay, so I'm just going to read it. So this C-reactive protein cardiac test. So this is my full test result. Who the hell wants to come on now? King Bao? Okay, hold on. Okay, then. Oh, hello there. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi.
What are you doing? It's like Team Orange Glass.
Just, making history behind the scenes in the shadows,
Well, I've been hearing you through the wall.
You can?
Yes. What you guys were very loud in there. Now that sounded weird, but I did, yes.
Oh,
The yelling. Yeah, I don't know. The live.
Yeah. I have a battle rapper who wants to fight me, and he doesn't realize that I'm like one of the best fighters on the planet.
He called me a
And he
dumb
thinks,
bitch.
yeah, and he thinks that because he went to jail, like he can actually fight. And like he doesn't understand that like I really do this, And so if he wants to fight, I'm gonna break his jaw.
Does he know who you are?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't really think he has a clue of who he's like talking to. So, I mean, He's going to find out if this actually goes down. I don't think it's going to get sanctioned. They want to try to call it an exhibition, but I'm still a fucking professional fighter. And if they just wanted to, go to a boxing gym, I would fly out there and just go to a boxing gym.
Wait, so what do they want to do? They want to like set up a fight?
Yeah, it's like a battle rap boxing league. So there, it's all battle rapper. Like battle rappers are known to not fight. They just
Uh,
like rap in front of each other and they fight with words. And
oh.
so the joke is that a lot of them can fight. And like I came into it and like actually fought.
Mhm.
And they hate me because like I came in and I battled a legend
Mhm.
after not battling like 10 years. And that pissed a lot of people off because I put on a show and like I made it happen, right? And then the stream fucked up and we gave back all the money and lost our ass. And like, he came on, oh, you scammed our culture. Bro, I gave all the money back. Like, you're an idiot. So it's just one of those things where people that aren't as dope as you have a problem with how dope you are. They can't intellectually best me. They can't manifest what they want with their lives, so they got to try to take it out on the people that do. And it is what it is. So
And
now I'm going to punch him in the face really hard.
well, I can't wait to see that because I still haven't seen you fight. And I want to see you fight.
Yeah, this isn't really going to be a butt fight. This is going to be like, I actually want to bully this man. Like when he made fun of the fact that I fight to save children, like, and try to disrespect me because I didn't fight outside of the cage, even though some people have spit in my face and pushed me. And it's like, bro, the reason I didn't is because like I could have ended them very easily. It could have taken one punch or one kick and I would be in jail the rest of my life and I wouldn't be doing all the things that I'm doing. Like if you don't understand that that's called self-control. Oh man, if someone would have spit in my face, oh yeah, we gotta end them, bro. Yeah, that's why you went to jail, you stupid motherfucker. Like, that's why you further the system.
In jail for it.
Like, this is what bothers me about whether you want to call it the hip hop or black culture. Like, they've literally just degraded themselves
Yeah.
down to the lowest vibration of human consciousness.
Yes.
And then they try to take it out on everybody else that they're retarded. And it's like, it's not my fault you're retarded, you know?
Yeah. Instead, he should just be inspired and fucking better himself, right?
Yeah, like actually go to a gym and train and like try to fight me man to man in like a sanctioned bout instead of just doing this stupid exhibition. Like fight me if you want to really fight, like let's just go 10 rounds or let's go till somebody quits. Like that's where I come from. I come from, if you want to keep fighting, we keep fighting. Even here at the gym.
Well, I haven't actually seen you live fight, but I've seen some of your fights and I've seen you train. So, I don't doubt you.
Yeah, well,
I know what you can
he's
do.
an
I
idiot.
think a lot of people know what you can do if you want
Yeah,
to.
I know. He's an idiot.
Well,
I
I
can't wait.
know that you're busy, so if you just want to share your little insights, since I've been a part of Alovea for a year and you've been a part of it for fucking a decade or something. But I played the Joe video. Did you? Yeah, you saw it, right? Or should I play it again? Just because it's my
Play it
favorite
again.
video. It's my favorite video I've ever done.
Play it
Oh,
again.
he's got boners all the time and he won't leave me alone. She called me up and she's about 82 years old. And her husband, Roger, is like 5 years older. Roger can't take Alovea anymore. And I said, oh, why is that? And she goes, this swear to God, this comes out of her 83-year-old mouth. Oh, he's got boners all the time and he won't leave me alone. So I'm taking him off of it.
Oh,
I
hilarious.
about drove off the freeway when she said that. And I got another buddy of mine,
Be the best story.
Mike Olson. He was having performance issues, and we got him on the dioxygen, and now he's got 2 kids. And
Yeah.
so when you get to help people do those kinds of things, I get a lot of joy out of that.
Yeah. I've shot a lot of testimonial videos at this point, and this is my favorite one because
Yeah.
it proves that it's never too late. They're 82 and like 87 years old. And the funny thing is, I didn't even tell you this today. I went out before earlier to run some errands and I stopped real quick by a place, which obviously I was meant to do today because I walk inside and I hear from the side, "Ooh, I love your tattoos." And I turn around and it's this really old but really good looking lady, right? So we just get into this really deep, long conversation. So she's 80 years old. And the funny thing, it's probably connected. So we start talking, and I tell her about food technology, and she's like, "Oh my god, I have nerve damage. I'm really interested in this. Oh, and by the way, I have to connect you with my daughter." She said, "By the way, oh no, my niece. My niece. Did she say her niece? No. Either way, granddaughter or something. Granddaughter." And she said, "By the way, my granddaughter is very much into this. Oh, and also my granddaughter has 4 wolves." And I was like, "Wait a second. Didn't you and Justin talk about this lady with wolves?" And I was like, "Okay, I was obviously meant to meet this lady today." And she was 80 and she was all about it.
So help me get a wolf.
Yeah, right? We're
Tiger
gonna have
needs a
a
friend.
wolf in the gym here?
No, that's a
That's
house. That's
crazy.
like yeah, no, that's you got to have property
The,
for
gy-
that.
the gym wolf? Imagine. Nobody's gonna want to come to
No,
work anymore.
yeah, those things are so massive.
Mm-hmm.
They're way bigger than you think than you think they are. Like
I know
crazy.
that, even if I haven't seen one like super up close. I've seen wolves. We have a lot of them in zoos in Sweden. So I think I have seen wolves. Yes, I know. But do you want to share
Boners, yeah, boners.
owner
Just take
story?
limitless. Just take limitless and balance. Everybody listening, take limitless and balance. Just shut the fuck up. Take the products.
Yes. And I don't
Yeah.
know if we're supposed to say it, but you can take a little extra if you want. Are we supposed to say that?
You, if you want extremely amazing intimacy, take 3 limitless and, well, I mean, you can do like 4 limitless and 4 balance about 30 minutes before. You'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that Viagra bullshit. It's terrible for you. You don't need that. You don't need blue chew stuff. No, it's all
And
bad for you.
if you're on balance on a daily basis, it regulates your mood, which probably I would like to say that the neighbor over here needs some balance because I heard the man go off on the woman for like an hour earlier today. Couldn't hear the words, but they were definitely not loving each other, let's just say. So I think they need some.
Hey, and just so you know, your door
Mm-hmm.
is very open, so people can hear out into the hallway. Just so you know.
When I'm on live stream?
Yeah, you need to get one of those air blockers thing
Oh,
that I have.
okay. Show me. Well,
Yes.
I was gonna say, luckily, I don't say anything inappropriate on my live, but I probably do. Yes.
No.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get some of that. But yeah, and these days we were able to actually share like finished cards. So if somebody gets confused on the Alovea website, I just did it like this right now. And I know I'm gonna show you, Joel, too, or maybe you know how to do it. I made an intimacy bundle on my link tree. If you go there, you can just see the products we're talking about, so you don't get so darn confused. Right? It's right there. So be easy. And actually, do you want to? We can show them. I have a new Pure Blood launch. I'm going to launch it probably next week because I haven't taken pictures and I just got them today. And here's one. The Matrix is real. And Joel has a dope one over there too that he can't sweat until I take pictures of it.
Yeah, we'll save that one.
Yeah, we shall. Okay, I'm going to let you do your thing. Go
All
create some.
right, talk soon.
Bye. Okay. Wait. How do I? No. How do I? Oh, there we go. It was just a little slow. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off unless somebody has something to say. I did see some comments here. Stopping to say hi. You have a great stream and happy early Valentine's Day. Thank you so much. Disorganized. What's up, man? Where are you now? I know he's traveling in our country right now. Hey there, fellow humans. So that was Casey. We're going to bring Casey back because when he was in the military, he has some really crazy stories. We've been talking before, and we wanted to kind of split it up to not make it so many topics in the same. So we're going to do another live with him specifically for a different topic, which I'm super pumped about. And I have so many live streams going on, so I'm just going to tell you guys what I got. Nothing tomorrow. Wait, do I have one on the weekend? No. Tuesday. When I write my calendar notes for myself when I'm busy, clearly I can't spell properly because I was like, what did I write here? Okay. On Monday, I have, let me see here. Monday, yes. On Monday, I have Mindy on. Mindy is a neurophysiologist. Basically, she works with the brain. She used to have Lyme's disease. She started a product. She's completely Lyme disease free. And she studies the brain. And she has a lot of brain scans and such. So that's going to be a really good live. That's on Monday. I will get back about the time. Tuesday, I'm going to have Jost back. We're going to talk about transhumanism. So these are the two that I have booked so far. I feel like I had something on Wednesday too. Did I? Let me get back to you. I might. Oh, actually, I have somebody that I want to have on the live this weekend if he's available. Are you available? I need this one back. Available this weekend. Okay, I have somebody I really want to get back on the live that has an insane freaking story. So I'll get back to you guys, but I will be launching the new Pure Blood. I have 5 new prints, which I am actually my printing people, my printing guys I use. I mean, they have always liked my designs, don't get me wrong, but after this batch I just sent, he was like, wow, this is incredible. And I was like, oh, cool. So they will be launching. Look out for that. Maybe this weekend. I might try to take some pictures. I just want actual pictures for the website. I hate doing digital images. Like I need a photo on a person. That's just the way I am. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna tap out. Love you all. Happy Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mwah.